Hello, and thank you for joining us on Really Dicey. Today, it's another Kickstarter highlight. It's February 2022. We'll just get right started. Manny, what do you got for us?
Before we start, I do want to highlight two creators because we had their Kickstarter is also going live right now, but we already interviewed them and so they're not part of this segment. I just want to talk, just to let you know that we did an interview with Tim Kask about Curse of the Weaver Queen.
We did. Yes.
And we talked to Jerry Grayson about Godsend Agenda. You should definitely check those out. I'll put those links in the description as well. But my first one is the Skaldwood Blight, a first to 20th level Pathfinder 2nd edition adventure. What really draws me to this project is that it's written by Ron, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Lundeen. So yeah, it's interesting. He's not doing this through Paizo. This is his own work, something that he's worked on his website for some time, and he just built it to an adventure. The idea is that this demon lord is causing problems.
Demon lords, you just could never trust them.
Yeah, I know. Can they just mind their own business?
I know. I mean, really. Anyway, what's this rascal up to?
So yeah, he's trying to just trying to take over the Northfell Woods. It's a series of all sorts of different adventures, and your job is to stop them as much as you can. But it's a really expansive adventure, obviously from levels 1 to 20. You get stuff. Wow. Yeah, it's huge. Tons of like locations, NPCs, plots and subplots, and of course the campaign setting of Northfell. If Pathfinder is something you're really interested in, especially 2nd edition, and one of the, if you like 1st edition, there is one of the stretch goals is a conversion to 1st edition. Oh, nice. But if you like Pathfinder, if you want to, I mean, Ron Lundeen again is one of the greats, so it's definitely worth checking out. I
have something called Grok, or no, excuse me, it's called Grok. An adventure role-playing game. Well, it says it's set in a gonzo world of boundless plausibility. I like that, boundless plausibility. This is a concise little book. It's a 28-page booklet in full color. The editing, content, and layout are completely done. So what you get here is an adventure world set on the planet of Grok, which was once a haven for trans-dimensional migrants and a bastion of advanced technomancy, until a cataclysm reduced it to a desolate, hollow planet. Let's see, feral monstrosities, floating cities, derelict space stations. You get the idea. So it's the dawn of a new era. Your civilization's crawling out of the ashes, it says. You've got relics of immense power. So it looks like you've got kind of a fantasy techno-magic world, kind of a dying Earth, maybe a little bit of gamer world sort of thing going on. He talks a lot about his system, which is he describes it as very player-facing, a universal resolution system, something called slot-based resources and damage management. He says he's united all the mechanics into one. So he cites influences such as Cortex Prime, Fate Core, Knave, Trioca. It's got some really crazy art. You can get the PDF starting at $1 and physical copies for $10 and more. If you like weird gonzo games of boundless plausibility, you should check out Grok.
You know, if titles have exclamations or question marks at the end, I feel like it's our job to pronounce it as it's meant to be pronounced.
Well, this one has an exclamation and the question mark, so I'm doing my best.
There's a project coming out called In Other Waters, Tidebreaker, which is using the mothership system. And and as you can tell from the name, instead of being in space so much, it's actually a water planet that you're exploring. And it's labeled, this world is labeled, it's called Gliese 667cc.
Catchy.
Yeah, and again, it's just water horror. It does have some content warning, so it warns you about, like, if you don't like stuff that deals with drowning or body horror and things like that. Although if you're playing Mothership, being it's a horror space game, you should know that it's going to be
Yeah.
some, there's going to be some subject matters that may not be safe for
Warning, do not
children.
play this game.
But yeah, this world's full of like creatures. It sort of has that like almost like a prehistoric Earth with giant like water creatures living in this planet. There's a deep ecological world building involved in this book. Something about the ocean, the deep oceans, that seems to scare the crap out of all of us. So I would love to have this in my collection. I think having this as an option for play is great.
December, I told you about some hand-drawn maps, which I said you should back, exploring maps. And I backed them, and I received them in January, and they were beautiful. And the creator is back again with some maps called Haunted Witch Hill. So this is a collection of 5 maps. They're black and white art. They're really great. They've got this wonderful old school feel. And you get more than the maps this time. You get some hand brewed magical items, some home brewed. He didn't actually make magical items. he drew some printable cards and a few mechanics and some wonderful art and some drawings of things in this mini setting. It's not really a complete setting of art, it's locations. And then you get 5 dungeon maps. You've got the ancient tomb, under the grave, cracking cabin, the old house, and the abandoned mystery castle. These are fantastic looking maps. If you love maps, but you can't draw like me, this is a great idea. Check it out. And I can tell you that I've, from personal experience, that he makes good stuff.
Oh, excellent. I love maps.
And unlike a lot of Kickstarters, you're not going to have to wait 1.5 years for this one. They should come out pretty quickly. The ones I backed in December, I got in January. So,
wow. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right. My next one is the Toxic Woods.
Oh no.
Well, actually, the Toxic Wood, I should say. It's so the idea of this is that a dragon attacked and destroyed and took over these woods, and there's a village there. And there seems to be, even though the place is destroyed or toxic, the whole forest is dangerous to go through. There seems to be some sort of sign that the village, there's still some life in there. So guess what, adventurers? Your job is to go in there. In this,
have I got a job for you?
Go into these dragon-infested woods and see you can bring anyone out of this village alive.
Fantastic.
This is it's a zine. It's only about 32 pages, and it's made particularly for old school essentials. So it has first of all great art, but it also has like NPCs, monsters, random encounter tables for different areas of the wood. So it just sounds like a fun adventure.
Yeah, it does. Boy, adventuring is a tough life, man. Jeez. Okay, we're done with that demon lord. What do we do now? Well, I want you to go down to that water planet of death. And then after that, we're going to send you into the toxic forest. And we are gluttons for punishment. Talking about old school zines. Last on my list is Knock, or I'm sorry, exclamation points, Knock! Issue 3. So if you're familiar with Knock issue 1, 2, you don't need me to tell you anything. I'm sure you've already backed this. But if you're not, what we have here is a compendium of miscellanea from the old school Renaissance. They've looked across the blogosphere and they've collected all these essays and charts and bric-a-brac, and they've put them all into a beautifully bound book, over 200 pages, a full color quality paper. This is just a random collection of stuff about the OSR. Like I said, lots of random tables, some miniature settings, some dungeons, some essays, all sorts of great stuff. You should definitely check it out. If you're part of the OSR scene, this is a great way to collect all the weirdness from across the blogosphere. And they also mentioned that this time around, they have a lot of people that aren't in the blogosphere, so things that might be harder to find. And if you're new to the old school scene, this is a great way to break into it and see what it's like. So, issue 3 of Knock!
Well, my last recommendation is for those of you that enjoy 5th edition D&D, we have Valley of the Unicorn. It intrigues me only because it reminds me of that classic Dungeons and Dragons cartoon episode with Calic and Uni, and they're trying to steal all the unicorn horns.
Oh, that was sad. That was a sad episode.
The idea is that there's these two wizards that are fighting over unicorns, and these unicorns need to get to a safe place, and that's what your job is to try to deal with this madness that's going on. But yeah, it has new spells, a new subclass, new monsters there's a lot of customized monsters and demons and devils. 100 pages full of color. The art's really nice. That's what really pulled me into it as well. I think if you're interested in that type of storyline for 5th edition, I can't see anything wrong with this.
Excellent. Well, there you go. 7 projects for you to check out, and check back in a week or so. February is a very active month on Kickstarter, so I think we're going to do a part 2 because there are some exciting things still to come. Like and subscribe, comment down below if there's anything else you think we should check out. And if you enjoy hearing us ramble about stuff, you should check out our podcast, Big Blue Die, available wherever you kids get your podcasts these days. So, until next time.
All right. Take care, everyone.